Hello everyone and welcome back to the Homecoming Podcast. This is episode 3 and thanks all for coming along. Tom, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you, Elliot?
Oh, what is that sound? Is that a new mic?
I bought a microphone just to make our podcast a little less shit. So
That is the dedication that we put into every single episode of the Homecoming Podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I haven't really been up to much apart from just had a haircut. And yeah, home haircut, and then just been doing some DIY kind of stuff around the house.
Can we just, before you say just a home haircut?
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've basically scalped myself at this point, so I got my brother to shave it all off.
There it is.
And yeah,
It's a home haircut. Like you got a 3 on the side.
It's a homecoming haircut. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely different. It's weird as well because when I got it done, I was like, oh, I feel so different, but I didn't really feel that different. It's when I wake up in the morning and then I get up and I look in the mirror, I'm like, actually, shit, like I have actually shaved all my hair off. But at the end of the day, like it's not that deep because everyone's kind of gone home anyway now, so it's not like anyone's going to see it. So but that's new me, new haircut, new me. Yeah, exactly. Nah, we get that every day anyway. It's fine. Anyway. But yeah, so this episode, we are doing murder cases, and that was Kilner who recommended that. So thanks, Kilner.
Shout out to Kilner.
Shout out, Kilner. F block massive. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. And we've got a couple of cases we wanted to go over, which is going to be cool.
Yeah.
And then
so basically, Elliot's
again.
going to talk about a few of them. I'm going to talk about a few of them. We're just going to spill our information, what we know, because it's quite a big topic.
We're just going to spill the beans. That
seems to find quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. It's this, and then conspiracies are the ones that I kind of find interesting anyway. So let's get to it, shall we? So we'll go with the first one. Will be the one that everyone knows, Jack the Ripper. It's a classic. It's a classic, a great one. But yeah, so I mean, there's not much needs to be really said about this one. I guess it was in 1888. A serial killer. It was a serial killer, but he only killed 5 people. I guess it still accounts, but
at the time,
compared to loads of these other cases,
think about the population back then as well.
This is true.
Like we've tripled, man.
Still today, unlike the other cases, no one knows who he was, anything about him, if it even was a him, to be honest.
That reminds me of the Zodiac Killer. Don't know if you've heard of him.
I have heard of him.
But he was a killer in California, I believe.
Okay.
And he killed people and then left these notes or something like that. And people have got an idea of what his face will look like from a drawing, but no one actually knows what he looks
That's always the shortcoming, though. That's always how they fall down. They leave the little clues, but obviously not in this case. But
I
normally,
think he wanted to do that though.
They kind of. I think they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Oh, I might be found. Maybe I'll have my like little moment, kind of thing.
Because they just want attention. That's kind of sometimes what it is.
Yeah, exactly. They just want clout. That's what they want.
It's just clout racing, isn't it? It's just
exactly.
Podcast, really.
It's clout killing. That's what it is. That'll be the name of this podcast. Clout killing. But yeah, so it's all.
Tell me more. I want to know more.
Yeah, so it was in Whitechapel, and he basically in London, in Whitechapel, he murdered mostly prostitutes. I think it was all prostitutes actually. But anyway, young vulnerable women, and then who basically people wouldn't know or care as much if they'd gone missing, and then that allowed him to basically escape every time and not be found. And he killed 5 different people. So one of them was like Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, and there was 2 others, Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly. And these are all known as the Canonical 5. I don't know. I assume that's how it's said. And yeah, that's how they're all linked together. And they've never been sold. So it's become kind of like a kind of legend, really, in English culture. And we all like kind of know about it. That's
one thing I don't know too much, to be honest. I never learnt about them in school or anything. So actually, you telling me just that's the most I've ever known.
Exactly. We're educating people in this podcast.
That's what we do.
Exactly. Should we do let's do a 1 for 1. So that's Jack the Ripper. I mean, there's not too much to say because obviously no one knows who he was. No one knows. They only know that it was in Whitechapel and the 5 murders were linked. So I mean, apart from that, there's not much that's really been said. But yeah, it's kind of one of those stories as well where the media, the newspapers really bigged it up, I think, to sell newspapers. So I don't know if it's been, it's probably a lot of it has been exaggerated. So it's really interesting because it's kind of a historical source as well. Yeah. But yeah, that's Jack the Ripper. And yeah, on to the next one. On to the next one, Tom. Go for it. Take the lead.
I'm going to be doing Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, have you heard of Jeffrey Dahmer, Elliot?
Never heard of him in my life.
So Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster.
The Milwaukee Monster.
Yeah, mate. He was an
sounds like a chocolate.
And a sex offender.
Oh, okay.
Committing murders of 17 men and boys.
Okay.
From 1978 to 1991. And later, it's got very dark. Later included a lot of necrophilia, cannibalism.
Oh my god. Right, cut.
Now, Jeffrey Dahmer, I watched a film a few years ago called My Friend Dahmer.
Okay.
Which, have you seen? You probably haven't, but on Disney Channel, there's an actor called Ross, I don't know. And
that's called Ross. Okay. I love that guy from Friends.
And he was in this film called My Friend Dahmer, and it's about him as a late teenager showing like what he was like in school and how he used to kill animals and stuff. And then the film ends with like him picking up his first victim he's going to murder.
Really? So it's the same guy then, and it's kind of the background to why he kind of did it.
Yeah, it's like an origin.
Is that the one where he like? I think I might have seen a clip from it. He like kills like a mouse or a rat or something like that, and then the cat.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Interesting. Carry on.
So Dahmer, he wasn't liked in school, obviously, and he, I think he had his classic like messed up family. I think his mum left. He lived with his abusive dad or something. His dad always got angry because he was killing animals in the woods. I mean,
just imagine it. Just grabs the dog by like the back two legs, drags him off to the woods. Oh god, this is the 5th dog this week.
But one thing I saw about him when I was researching a few years back is that he kept a lot of his, when he moved out and lived in a flat, he kept a lot of his bodies in the fridges and stuff.
Really?
And his neighbours would complain about the smell coming from his house.
Oh my god, that's so grim. Jesus. It's amazing the kind of thought process that goes into it. I'm going to kill someone and then get their body and stuff it in my fridge in my flat. That's so weird.
Well, it's a safe place, isn't it?
But all the evidence is right there.
It's like what we were saying on, I think it was the first podcast, about like what happens behind closed doors. Like you don't know. And I sometimes think that when I'm in town or busy places or London or something, I'll look around and be like, what's happening in that house? You never know. Like,
yeah, this is true actually.
You never know if you've met a murderer or something.
Yeah, because you probably, you have in your life. You must have seen so many, like walked past so many murderers and paedophiles.
Yeah, paedophiles definitely, but murderers is a bit.
It's less. It's weird that, isn't it? Yeah.
But Dahmer was then. He got caught and he was sent to jail for life, I assume. But then he was, sentenced 15 terms of life imprisonment. So 15. Yeah.
Well, is it in America? Was it?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I'm surprised he wasn't put to death then. Wasn't given a death penalty.
Then he was beaten to death in prison by.
Oh, okay, right, Jesus.
Because I heard that if you, one thing about is if you go to prison for doing some weird shit with kids. The prisoners inside,
they will all go for you. Yeah, if you're a paedophile in prison, fucked, mate. Yeah. They all find out because they all do research on like kind of people who are coming in, so they'll get information on you and then they'll go up to you. I can't remember who it was, but I was watching a podcast on an ex-prisoner, and they would go up to him when he first arrived in the prison. And they were like, "What are you in for?" And then they'd kind of find out, are you kind of like a paedophile? Or you're not, or you're a murderer, or are you a fraudster, or something like that? And then they treat you depending on how well. You kind of what you're in for.
I think that's okay.
It's punishment. Yeah.
Like if you're a sicko, mate, you deserve what you get.
Yeah. I guess so. It's kind of hard. Yeah. It's a hard one to kind of like where's the line? But I guess if you're a paedophile, you kind of rotting in jail and getting attacked by everyone is probably a good thing. Yeah. But anyway,
He kept one thing he liked to do, like a lot of killers do, is keep something. So he apparently kept part of the skeleton. So he liked to keep bits of them because he ate them. That's why he was known. He ate them. He was the Milwaukee Cannibal. Jesus. So he had sex with them and then ate them.
Okay.
By the way, if you're a young viewer,
Exactly.
Maybe click away.
Yeah. Age discretion.
Also, when did we start recording?
Oh shit! This always
I think
happens. This
I'd say
always
like
happens.
10 minutes ago?
No, 10 minutes. No, 5 minutes ago.
Are you joking? No, it's not 5 minutes. We've spoke about 2 people.
Yeah, but I went over mine very quickly.
I'd say 10 minutes.
Okay, let's just go for 10. Screw it.
So, 10 to 2.
This is the kind of quality you can expect from a home
Planning.
podcast.
So we'd start at 1.
But yeah, Jesus. Is there anything more on him?
Let me quickly. You talk for a second.
Okay. Shall I move on to my one and then you can come back?
Nah, don't bother. I'll find another one. You do.
Okay. All right. So the next person is Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a classic. He was.
I'm going to talk a bit about him as well.
Okay, all right. He was an American serial killer who kidnapped, raped, and murdered numerous young women and girls during the 1970s and possibly earlier. And he was executed in 1989 and confessed to 30 homicides that he committed. Homicides. And it was over 7 states. He was jailed for the first time and incarcerated in Utah in 1975, and he was described as a sadistic sociopath who took pleasure from other humans' pain and the control he had over his victims to the point of death, and even after. And he called himself the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you'll ever meet. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, he used to... he would typically approach his victims in public places, feigning injury or disability, or impersonating an authority figure before knocking them unconscious and then taking them to secluded locations to rape and strangle them. Jesus.
In his Beetle.
Did he use a beetle?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. I've seen the film.
Oh, okay, there's a film as well. Jeez.
Yeah.
And then he sometimes revisited the crime scenes. Oh god, that is awful. I'm not going to read that.
Have you heard of the film of Ted Bundy?
No, I don't really. I'm not really big into the kind of crime documentaries. I know a lot of people are, but I just haven't really got around to doing it. It's kind of one of those things.
There was a film
you get addicted though, don't you?
Yeah, there's a film called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, which it's named that because that's what the judge in his Ted Bundy's court called him when arresting him.
Like, oh, really?
Put him guilty, and it was played by Zac Efron because the idea of it.
Oh, it's like he's like looks like this handsome guy, and it's actually the opposite. Yeah.
Back in the day, people didn't believe you could be a killer if you looked good. It's like, but he's a nice-looking, friendly guy. He wouldn't do something like that, and that's why they got Zac Efron to do it because everyone loves Zac Efron. He's a good-looking lad. He's never done anything wrong.
It's one way for Zac Efron to destroy his career.
Well,
goes from High School Musical to knocking people unconscious and raping them.
Well, when the film came out, people were like, "Oh, Zac Efron makes Ted Bundy look hot," and it's like that's the point. That's the whole point. It's like people didn't know back then.
That's the kind of thing, though, isn't it? You expect people who are like handsome and good-looking never to do it, and that kind of loner, you'd always expect to kind of be that kind of person. It's one of those kind of society's like conceptions that was kind of been made. It's quite interesting.
But yeah, it was a really good film, and the acting was really good. It was nice to see like a darker side to Zac Efron's acting.
I thought you were just going to say, nice to see a darker side to Zac Efron. Like it is acted, yeah. Wow. So yeah, there was this guy anyway, Ted Bundy, and yeah, I mean he was executed by being electrocuted, and it's what unusual because it was that kind of he's the kind of guy you wouldn't expect to be it, like you were saying, and he is interesting as well because he himself said that he was completely cold-hearted, and it's weird because he understood like he was doing like disgusting things. Yet he still did them. So is it kind of one of those things where it's like do you think it's because of your life experience, or do you think people are like born that way? It's interesting to think about that anyway.
I heard he had like I don't know I think this is Ted Bundy. His childhood was a bit messed up where he didn't actually know his real mum. I think his mum was his sister or something.
Okay.
It was
his father's identity has never been confirmed. His birth certificate is said to assign paternity to a salesman and Air Force veteran named Lloyd Marshall. So basically they don't know who his dad is.
Yeah, I think it was all just a bit messed up. I think there was some incest going on actually inside his family. So he
Really?
grew up a bit messed up.
Yeah. So maybe it is just experience, and it's family experience and stuff like that.
But he was really smart as well. He was like training to be a lawyer, which is another reason people just didn't believe it.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
This
and
is in the 1980s.
he did the classic thing of pinpointing young, vulnerable females.
Yeah.
'Cause that was just the thing, wasn't it? Like,
You take advantage of them. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
There is one lady who's done an interview who got caught by Ted Bundy and he was going to kill her, but she managed to escape.
Really?
And she's done interviews about like how she felt.
Did she tell anyone then? Did she alert the authorities? Is that how it came out, or was it one of those things where she said it and everyone was like, "You're lying"?
I think she said it, but she didn't know his name, or she only had like an idea of what his face looked like.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was like he picked her up on the side of the road when she needed help,
Mm.
and then she ran away. So she didn't actually really notice like a photo, like picture, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was all once again drawings and stuff, because this was the 70s, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 70s, 80s. Oh no, he died in 89, and then he was first arrested in 75, and then I think they just kind of linked on. Oh no! Wow. Facing murder charges, he engineered 2 dramatic escapes and committed further. He escaped twice.
He jumped out a window
and then killed 3 more people before he was recaptured in 1978. Jeez. Wow. And he,
right?
Yeah, he received 3 death sentences in 2 separate trials for the Florida homicides.
Homicides, you good? Fucking homicides.
Yeah, interesting. Right, on to you. Have you got anything else to add, or is that it?
Yeah, sorry.
Hello.
Sure. My brother's come in.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think that's most of it for him anyway.
Okay, all right. Do you want to move on to your next one? Oh, okay. I'll carry on. So yeah, I mean that's Ted Bundy. Very
live,
interesting and yeah.
I could probably talk about it for ages, but
yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to move on to the next one?
Can do.
Okay.
Would you? I got the Moors murderers.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, sure. Go for that.
A British killing.
Hmm.
So Moors murderers: Ian Brady, Myra Hindley, between July 1963 and October 1965, around the Manchester region of England. Now, what do you know about this, Elliot?
So all I know is that it was a couple, wasn't it? And then they got the bodies and buried them in the bog, and some of them still haven't been uncovered. One of them died recently, I think, in prison, and the other one, I think they might have both died, and they didn't release the information about 1 or 2 of the bodies. They're still looking for one, I think. I think that's all I know. I think that's how, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's all I know.
They picked up young children. The victims, they had 5 children, aged between 10 and 17. Hang on. Sorry. And apparently there were at least 4 of them were sexually assaulted.
Right.
So yeah, they killed them, took them to the moors, and because I don't know what the moors really look like, but I assume it's just
this is all very boggy,
boggy, like grass, wetness. And yeah, I was reading something a while ago about how they got caught. And it's like their friend was getting involved with one of the killings, and then they locked this body in a room, and then the police came around, and then they just couldn't hide it because it was just kind of obvious something was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying about when they died. Which one's Brady? Myra Hindley died.
I think the woman died first, and then the man.
She died in 2002.
Died recently.
And then Ian
what,
Brady
2015, 2016,
2017.
2017.
I think I remember actually because it was 15th of May 2017, and I remember reading it on the bus to school because that was around GCSEs.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's so interesting that you can have that mindset till the very last, and you're not going to reveal it. It's horrible for the families because they'll never know where the body is.
I know that was one of the big things about it. There's some pictures like Keith Bennett, one of the kids. There's a picture of him which I've seen a few times online. So yeah, what they do is they'd ask like little kids who were on their way or like somewhere if they needed help, and they pick them up in a little mini, and then I think they the head or something, and then.
Jeez, it's so grim. And it's weird. The weird thing is as well, it's not just an individual; it's 2 people. So it's obviously Were they related in any way? Were they just have it in a relationship?
Oh, no.
Okay.
They were just...
So strange.
No, one was born in Glasgow and the other...
And they just met each other, and they... Imagine being, like, sharing, if you had those kind of, like, those views and that kind of, like, that messed up kind of opinion, that you'd share it with someone else. It seems kind of, I don't know, how you kind of, how that would happen. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they met. She was at a job and they met. I think it's just, I think it's one of them things, like, you've got a partner, like, when you talk to someone so much, you realise the same things you enjoy. And that might be, like, sexually or something like a bit, I don't know, kinky or something like that. Whereas they probably had that talk and it got a bit further and their ideas were...
They're like, what's your fridge like? Oh, you got that fridge? That's a sick fridge. I've got this fridge. You know,
yeah, they probably
bodies.
Just thinking about darker stuff.
Yeah, it must have got very dark. Jeez.
I think at first it was the man.
Really?
Okay. And then, yeah, Myra sort of just helped.
Right, so maybe... Okay. I don't want to kind of, like, acquit her of the thing, but maybe she was, like, not as into it, and then it was him, and she was kind of just following it because she loved... I don't know. Maybe not. What do you kind of think about... Do you think that we should, like, pity these people, or do you think that they should just die and, like, be given the death penalty? Do you think they should be reformed, and actually it's a problem in society, and that we haven't done enough as a society to help these people, or do you think...
No, I don't think it's society. I just think, unfortunately, some people are mentally unstable and have psychotic ways and shit. Yeah. That isn't society's fault. Like, if it was, we'd all be fucked. It's just some people...
You don't think that it was because they had those extra things, like his dad was whatever, never around, and there could have been incest. So you think if he was actually like, he had the same upbringing that we did, he would have never been like that.
Yeah, of course. But that's just...
So it is more of
the way life gets like served. Like, some people just have it harder, but I know people who have but success stories of people who were really sick, like had a shit upbringing, and then became really successful. Like, I've been reading the book of the CEO of Disney. Yeah, his dad was a bipolar person and sometimes was abusive and stuff, and now he's like a billionaire who owns one of the biggest companies in the world.
Who currently owns it? Okay, so not Walt Disney.
He's the CEO. Okay. No. Yeah. So he's.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That is very interesting. Should we... I think you went for a second there. That's fine. Should we... Do you wanna...
Did I? You went for a second as well.
Oh, okay. It must just be an internet thing. Yeah, wow. That is very interesting, though.
Well, how much of that did you get?
Well, we got to the bit where you were talking about the CEO of Walt Disney and saying that it doesn't matter on your upbringing, you can still achieve things.
Hell yeah.
Inspirational quote of the day on the Murder Cases podcast. Yeah, it's interesting though. It is really interesting. Because I guess people will disagree on this kind of, because I think there is definitely two sides to it about if it's society as well, because I don't know. I think some of these definitely could have been like prevented if there had been some kind of intervention or maybe some, I don't know.
Yeah, but a lot of killers are lonely, aren't they? They don't have people to talk to.
Yeah, it's true. It is true.
So they just do shit on their own.
Yeah, interesting.
When we're done talking about real stories, I want to talk about some films that I like.
Okay. Related to the Murder Cases or just general films? Okay.
I want to talk about cars.
Exactly. Well, let's finish these ones first, and then we can definitely do that. Okay, so the last one that I wanted to talk about. Have you got any more as well after this, or?
I'll probably find one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the last one I wanted to talk about anymore was the Harold Shipman one, and this was. Do you know anything about the Harold Shipman one?
The only thing about Shipman I know is in Gavin and Stacey, the last name is Shipman.
Okay, I don't think it's related. I haven't seen Gavin and Stacey.
No, it is.
I swear I mentioned this every single episode. I haven't seen Gavin.
No, shut up. It is related.
Oh, sorry. Calm down. I'm sorry.
The writers, James Corden and Ruth Jones, picked their last names to all be serial killers. So West is the West family.
Really? That's a bit weird.
No, it's like a cool thing.
Oh, it's cool. Okay.
Cool.
If you say it's cool, it's cool. Right. Harold Shipman. Do you know anything? Or is it just that the last names in Gavin and Stacey? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I only know that, but he's a doctor.
Yep. So he was an English general practitioner and is believed to be the most prolific serial killer in history. On the 31st of January 2000, a jury found Shipman guilty of the murder of 15 patients under his care, with his total number of victims estimated to be around 250. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with the recommendation that he never be released.
Gotta bump those numbers.
Yeah, God, pretty gruesome. And he basically, I think, yeah, and the differences between him and other ones, he wouldn't target younger people, he'd target older people, because 80% of them were elderly women. So he'd basically target people who were almost like, it could be kind of seen to be dying anyway, or like die anyway, because of natural like a natural death. And he basically went around and I think he injected them. I think he injected them basically and killed them all. And his youngest confirmed victim was a 40-year-old man, although there was significant suspicion arose when that he might have killed patients as young as 4 years old. So, yeah. And
well, that's the thing. When you're a doctor and you have the power and the customers or whatever, patients have the vulnerability just thinking like, he knows what's best for me.
Exactly. You put all your trust into a doctor. Yeah, exactly.
They're the heroes.
Yeah. I mean, it is really, really worrying. I think as well, it's a bit of a shame because it definitely taints a lot of doctors, because then it makes people think, oh crap, there's someone like that. What am I being injected with, you know? It's one of those things, is this actually going to help me, or have they got some like sick side to them?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, as much as doctors are amazing and stuff, they are just regular humans, you know?
Yeah,
regular
exactly.
Humans like us.
Everyone's human, yeah, exactly.
They just know stuff.
Yeah, they've got big brains. But yeah, and he committed suicide on the 13th of January 2004, one day before his 58th birthday, by hanging himself in his cell at Wakefield Prison.
So when was this? When was the time period?
So he was found guilty of 15 patients in 2000.
That's weird. Like,
so it must have been, I assume, the 90s, late 90s.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. The victims, the span of crimes was from 1975 to 1998.
Damn, that's
Jeez.
2 decades.
Yeah, and he was caught in 1998, and then there was like a 2-year-long investigation.
Yeah, that would take a while.
Yeah, definitely, because you've got to kind of pull up all this stuff. It's really weird though, because I guess that many people and no one finding out, I don't think you could really do that. It had to have been people who were kind of like, there was some idea that they might have just died a natural death, and then he just, oh god, killed them, I guess. Pretty grim.
Murders who are recently, or any like big event that happens recently, but like behind closed doors. Is that like I was alive or someone I know was alive? So I'm wondering like, what were they doing when that was happening?
Yeah, exactly. Then, like, these people are just kind of going around doing their thing. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is mad. And he was called Dr. Death. That was one of his names. People called him.
That's a shit name.
The Angel of Death. Why is one of his names was the Good Doctor? I don't know why he's called the Good Doctor.
Because he's lovely.
He's good at killing people, I guess. But yeah, that is.
Where was he from? Whereabouts? I assume he's England, right? Yeah,
he's English. I'm trying to figure out where he's from. He's in Nottingham.
Don't go to Nottingham.
Exactly. Don't have a doctor's appointment in Nottingham.
Terrible.
And I guess because he was a doctor, it was the whole getting rid of the bodies. It was never an issue for him because they would go to the morgue anyway, so it wasn't a problem. But I guess that's what made it so much easier for him, as well as the fact that he was a doctor and people tend to believe what doctors have to say.
It's like smart killing.
Yeah.
He's hacking the system.
You know what? He's really a pioneer.
Never seen anything like it. Right?
Exactly.
He's an entrepreneur, mate.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, that's amazing though. It's weird because
it's amazing.
I find it interesting, the whole kind of like the way that they kind of did it and how it's different between different people and the kind of method. I think that's kind of one thing that's very interesting. Obviously, if you get too deep into it, I'm sure it gets a bit of a problem. But yeah, it's interesting looking at it. 100%. Right, but yeah, that was Harold Shipman, my final one. So who else have you got?
I've got John Wayne Gacy, right?
Okay.
Who was an American serial killer.
Yep.
Also known as the Killer Clown.
The Killer Clown. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what it is based off?
I don't know, but maybe we'll find out. He assaulted and murdered at least 33 young men and boys, and he regularly performed at children's hospitals and charitable events as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown.
Oh god.
A clowning persona he devised. He was also active in his local community as a precinct captain and building contractor. Just a regular guy in Chicago, Illinois.
A regular clown constructor. That's all he was. It's all of those regular clown constructors.
So yeah, Gacy typically abducted his victims from Chicago's Greyhound bus station, or simply off the streets, often grabbed by force or coned into believing Gacy, often carrying a sheriff's badge, was a policeman.
Wait,
Others
what?
were lured to his house with either the promise of a job with his construction company or an offer of drink, drugs, or money for sex.
So he was a policeman, or did he pretend to be a policeman?
He pretends to be a policeman.
Right,
He
and then
just
lure them
put
in
different
using
stoners on.
sex, drugs, or anything else. And then what was he? Who would he target? Was it men? Was it women?
It was young men.
Young men. Oh, okay. So he was gay then, and he was trying to lure people in. Right.
He in his house his ply was with the youth with drinks, drugs, or generally and he'd then produce a pair of handcuffs occasionally as part of a clowning routine. Typically cuff his own hands behind his back. Then that's a big word. I think he'd just pretend like they're playing and stuff.
Right. Okay.
He said, Gacy then made a statement to the effect of, "The trick is you have to have the key." Oh, what is going on? Oh, he'd get all kinky.
No, maybe we shouldn't read that bit out.
It got a bit dark.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I know that he stored them. You know, in America they have houses on top of a foundation. Like an airspace
would he
underneath.
store them under the foundation then?
Store them under that, yeah.
Right.
Or in the floors or something.
Oh, okay.
So I think when they looked up the house, they found a lot of
Bodies underneath.
a lot of shit, as you can assume. And there was
So
about
how
30.
many? Okay. I'm 30.
It said he murdered at least 33. Yeah.
Right.
One
Jeez.
count of sodomy. I say it, sodomy.
Sodomy.
One count of sexual assault. One count of indecent liberties with a child. So there you go. It was a bit
What was it? Sodomy, was it?
sodomy. We're smart.
Yeah. Oral sex. Anal oral sex, apparently. Oh no.
He was.
Oh god. Okay. It was bestiality.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing. He was transferred to death row, where he remained incarcerated for 14 years.
Okay.
And then on February 15th, 1983, he was stabbed in the arm by a fellow death row inmate.
Right. In the arm.
A second. Oh, then he got stabbed again.
Oh my god.
Oh, he didn't actually die from that. What did he
So
die from?
just kept
Oh,
getting stabbed by inmates.
He just got stabbed a bit. And then he
Just got like a
executed.
knife in each arm.
I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just got executed. Bit of fun. But I do know. Have you seen American Horror? Have you seen American Horror Story?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. But I know apparently there's a clown in it, and that was based off him.
Wow, that is so weird. It's the classic clown, isn't it? That's why everyone thinks clowns are so scary.
I think he may have been one of the pioneers of scary clowns, though.
One of the forefront
He's a
members.
pioneer.
Exactly. These people are pioneers. Jesus.
I got a story for you. When I went to Mallorca? No, Gran Canaria. It's not out on holiday when I was younger. We went to this maze, and you go in the maze, and then these clowns would chase you, and you had to get out of the maze. It was quite fun, actually, but really scary.
Okay. Clown scary story.
That's scary.
It's funny. Yeah, they are scary. I think if I was a young kid and my mum got me like a clown for my birthday, I'd be freaked
You're like,
out.
bitch, what you doing?
Well, I wouldn't say
that
that
way.
as my mum, but yeah.
Oh.
Don't do that. Yeah. Don't cry. But yeah, it would be a bit weird. Be a bit strange.
Anyway.
Yeah. So now do you want to go on and do your films?
Well, I only had one film in mind. It was Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And I only say it because I just think Hannibal Lecter and Anthony Hopkins is such an incredible role.
Yeah.
I only saw it a few months back for the first time.
It's a long film.
I think it's worth it. I found it so just mesmerizingly entertaining.
Mesmerizingly entertaining. Wow.
It was just, it really drew me in. And when, spoilers, when he, cut that guy's face off and managed to escape and made that whole room like a whole scary thing, that cell room.
Yeah.
I just was like, wow, that's great cinematography.
It's some of the best acting, 100%.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing.
And
he's in Westworld. Have you seen Westworld?
I've seen season 1.
Yeah. We might have to do a lot of editing this one, actually.
Why?
I don't know. A lot of it is quite gruesome. I know.
No, it's a mature audience.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I do always put "this is not for kids" when I upload the videos. So, you know what? This is what you get.
This is what you get.
This is what you get, Kilner.
It says murderers. The title's gonna be like murderers or something. So
over 18 only.
No, because that's a joke. Like I knew about murders before I was 18. Like,
all right, Jesus, pioneer.
I am a pioneer.
Right, get the FBI on this guy. But yeah,
the
FBI are going to come all the way down and get you from America.
Come on then.
Come on, big man. Yeah, but that's it, I guess. Wow.
Should we not talk about anything else? I feel like we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. How long have we done? 35 minutes. Let's dedicate the last part of this podcast to ourselves. What have you been up to since the last podcast?
One thing is I've been chatting to people. For those of you who don't know, I'm off.
Tell us where you're going. Tell us where you're going.
I'm going to a drama school called Erdang Academy in central London.
Yeah.
Look it up. See some stuff. It's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
I'm shitting myself. But I'm going there and I've been talking to some people about moving in and stuff, and I think I found a nice little group of people to live with, which is exciting.
So you had to find them yourself, or they assigned to you? I assume they're assigned.
No, we had to find them. But what
you
we
got
did,
to find them.
We got put into a chat with all the people starting.
Okay.
So you just pick out people you think look decent.
It's like the Tinder of university.
Apparently so. But yeah, I found some really nice people.
Accommodation so. Tinder.
Now we actually need to find a place, but it's kind of hard with Corona because I can't go look at anything.
This is true. So how are you going to do it then?
Well, in a month or two or whatever. At least by summer, so we can go out at least. I'm gonna have to go and find somewhere to live. But it's cool.
We found a place. We got all the guys in my flat basically decided to live together for next year. So it's 5 guys. So we'll see how that goes.
That'll be messy.
It will be. But I was about to say I've got some hope. I think, and I always believe in second chances. But yeah, anyway, so we basically
do something wrong.
No, and like just washing up and stuff like that. We're awful at it. But we basically have found a place for next year, and now we're going through all the legal stuff, like signing all the documents, the lease, and everything like that. And then we've got to pay for our first month of accommodation as well, our first month of rent. But it's so weird that now we're kind of moving on to that stage of kind of that maturity, and you've got to sign off. It's weird signing documents that you've got to sign off for the making sure everything's fine and that you've got a lead tenant and stuff like that. It's all interesting stuff. And
is it a nice place?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's a lot more expensive than university accommodation, which I was surprised about because I thought university accommodation normally is quite expensive. But who knows? It'll be good. I'll enjoy it a lot. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
How much is it, or do you not want to say?
I won't say on camera, on microphone. But yeah, no, it's all right. But yeah, it's all new. So it's gonna be a really fun year, definitely, 100%. You can come up and visit, mate. You can come up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's all right. You can do a vlog of Norwich and put it up on the channel.
Can I?
Lads abroad.
Yeah, abroad.
You leave the country and then come back. But yeah,
that's cool. Well, also, I just want to shout out to the people watching. We appreciate you viewing.
Thanks for watching. I mean,
at least over 100 views on both episodes.
It's been very like surprising how many people have like stayed and have come back. I thought it would be like a big first episode and then it would completely drop and we get, I don't know, 50 views on the second one. But we've got 100 on the second, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, I mean, please keep watching. We're enjoying this so far. It's been really fun making it.
It's
for
nice,
me
yeah,
anyway. What's it been like for you? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, you'll message me like, hey, do you want to record? I'll be like, yeah, I've got an hour. Let's go and do some magic.
Make some magic. Let's be pioneers together. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's good as well because just filling up the time, you know. I mean, there's not
now
much
I've got.
to do.
Hopefully, it sounds a bit better. Hopefully.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I think it was hopefully. I mean, we
It's
did
a lot easier
we
as
did
well.
some tests before and it sounded decent. So
Yeah, and now I can just hold this microphone. It's just calm.
yeah, he sent me a picture and it really looked like a sports commentator. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been good so far. It's been a success. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so it's still very very early days.
It's been 1 a week, but I think we could probably try and push it to 2 a
We
week.
could easily do 2. Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's been 2 days since we last uploaded, so maybe
We could put this out. I could put this out tomorrow or today. I mean,
yeah,
then we could do one
Yeah,
every
maybe
3
tomorrow.
days. Maybe one every 3 days.
yeah.
That'd be decent. But yeah, we've got plenty to talk about. And also, I wanted to say as well, obviously for this episode, it was recommended in the comments. So if you want us to do anything else, we're thinking conspiracies. We did comedy last time, so we were thinking... We got drunk stories, which we were going to save for later. And then we've also got musical theatre and... we were going to do like debates on like different films and stuff like that. Whatever you guys want to see, put it down in the comments and we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, literally anything really, just from the smallest things that maybe you find interesting, and it may not take up a whole episode, but we could definitely talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. Even dedicate like 10 minutes, 5 minutes to it, just to talk about it.
If you just want to know more about us, like maybe our upbringing or something, we can do that.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been really good so far, so I can't really complain at all. It's been a good time. But yeah, I mean, what else have you got to talk about? Do you want to say anything else before we call it a day?
I feel like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we're good.
Okay. Decent. Right. Well, final. What do you want to say? What's the last thing you want to say? What's your final cut?
What is my tip today?
Tip of the week. Tip of every 3 days. That's what it'll be.
Make sure you brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. What was it last week? It was don't cough.
Feed your pets.
Feed your pets. Brush your teeth. Feed your pets.
Twice a day.
Twice a day, right?
Just because you're sitting inside all day doesn't mean they should suffer. Grimmy.
Exactly. Right, this has been the Homecoming podcast, and thank you a lot for listening. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Elliot.
All right, see you later.
Bye.